What I love about working at Oakwood is the fact that I get to actually do what I've wanted to do since I was 15. I got really into rock and roll and music, and I grew up on old school country and 50s music and big band swing. And so I started really diving in and leaving the saxophone and getting into bass guitar. And I bought my first keyboard and my first drum machine and a 4-track recorder, and would just sit there and write. And I didn't have a guitar, so I'd write guitar parts on my bass high up with some overdrive. So I went to school with a music minor, and I got a media comm major with emphasis in production. And then it's like, okay, well, now what? I don't have any connections in Nashville or LA or New York or wherever. So I just wound up jumping into retail management and doing that and getting really good at it and moving up in different companies. But always still playing in bands, just thinking like, I wish I could, my job could be to help other people with their music. And I got laid off, and then John gave me a call. He said, my business is growing, I need help. Are you interested? And I said, yes. And he kind of just weaned me into here because we wanted to make sure it would work. And I remember just coming home after being here and just like so pumped, telling my wife like, oh, we did this crazy cool idea and we wanted a dirty upright sound. So what we did is we took my vintage Gibson SG bass and we didn't plug it into anything, and we just put the mic right on the body. The fact that we were able to do that, that creative element where you get to do stuff outside the box, and then the artist is like, that's so great, thank you for thinking of that. That at the end of the day, seeing how excited the artists get or the bands get, and knowing how much of myself I've invested in it and seeing how excited they get, that's probably, outside of my just absolute passion for music, why I like working there. So my favorite things about working with artists is the variety. I absolutely love the variety. People a lot of times like, oh, you're a rock guy, you're a punk guy. I was like, guys, I have Duran Duran on my MP3 player. I have Johnny Cash on my MP3 player. I have Armin van Buuren on my MP3 player. So I'm a fan of music, good music. I like newgrass, just all sorts of stuff. So the variety is something that I really enjoy, because one day I'll come in here and I'm working with somebody who's pulling from Taylor Swift and they're doing pop country. And then another day I come in here and somebody's pulling from Florence and the Machine and a couple other cool artists in that vein. Somebody else will come in and they're doing stuff that's straight up classic rock. And how I get to apply myself with that is, okay, you're doing classic rock, well, let's use this drum kit because it has this type of tone and this sound, and developing everything and staying true to their genre. And really, I think seeing them, they have this idea when they come in here of how they think their song should sound. And they always limit themselves because they're so married to the song or to the record. And for me, I think one of the things that brings me a lot of gratification and joy working with the artists here is just as we go through the process and we get to help them develop their ideas and develop their music and suggest, hey, you might want to put an organ in here, or let's do a tweaky synth over here. And the relationship grows and there's a level of trust. And then at the end, it's so much better than they ever thought they could do. And just the look on their face. I mean, I've sent people things when we were halfway through a project through Dropbox, and I've gotten a text back that says, I had no idea this could be my song and I'm crying right now. And it's a 40-year-old man that was a Marine. I mean, that's awesome. When you're asked to be a producer on a project and they're asking for your help, there's a fine line between applying yourself to really elevate their music and do what they want for the song or for the record, and then being overbearing and forcing yourself on them at that point. So as somebody who's played in bands for years, since I was 15, I'm almost 35, I had a bad experience. And I was like, hey, can you raise the guitars up? Can you make the bass punch? The drums are a little set back too far. Like, we're a rock band. Can you do some of these changes? And he said yes. And then we got it back, and it was still weird. And then they threw some scratching records and a bridge, which was weird because we were not doing the rap rock thing at all. And I was like, hey, man, this really isn't my band anymore. And you're not the producer. You're the engineer that's mixing it. And he was like, no, I'm done. And so I remember what that was like. And I don't ever want to do that to an artist or a band, because that's insult to injury. They have these puzzle pieces and they need help putting it together. And that's basically my job. Yes, I have a ton of ideas, but it's never oppressive in my approach. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm hearing another guitar part here. We could probably throw a dotted eighth note and a dotted quarter note delay on it, sit it down in the mix, put it through halfway verse 2 to make verse 2 a little bit different from verse 1, so it piques people's interest and keeps them interested. And that's the types of things I like to help people with. Now, at the same time, if somebody's like, look, you know, I've been married to this song for 2 years, this is how it's going to be, great. On the production side, my job is to capture the best performance and use my knowledge of the preamps and the mics and the plugins that we have to get the best possible quality of sound for what they're looking to do.